Cam Jurgens, Jason Kelce comparison might seem a little overplayed, but there really is no other NFL center I can point to with that level of explosiveness and agility. Through week 2 of the preseason, Cam Jurgens is the highest graded rookie offensive lineman according to PFF. There are some things he still needs to clean up in pass protection, but as a run blocker, he's exactly as advertised. Most casual NFL fans aren't watching week 2 of the preseason, and if they are, they usually aren't watching offensive linemen, but Cam Jurgens is the type of center that forces you to watch him because he's 20 yards downfield tossing DBs out of the running back's way. On the first play of the week 2 preseason game, Philadelphia is running pin pull with the guard and center pulling and everyone else down blocking, and it's impressive when centers can keep up with a flowing linebacker, but to be able to flatten a safety downfield, it just requires a different level of athleticism. If we compare Jurgens and Kelce's athletic profiles, it's about as close of a match as you'll find, and having a center that can explode off the ball and secure blocks in space is pretty much a requirement in Philadelphia's rushing offense. The Eagles pull their center more than any team in the NFL, and they run a wide range of screens and RPOs that require offensive linemen to get downfield. And it's looking like they found a good replacement for Jason Kelce in the second round. That's not to say he'll be as good of a player as Jason Kelce's been, but when Kelce retires, the Eagles won't need to change their run scheme at all because Cam Jurgens is capable of blocking everything. As we've covered, he's really effective on pin pull and sweep, and this is where you can really use athletic offensive linemen as weapons in the run game. He's also one of the best screen blockers that I've seen at his position. I remember being really early to the Cam Jurgens hype train, and it's because I was watching someone on Michigan's defense, and I kept seeing this player from Wisconsin keeping up with defensive backs like 40 yards downfield when they would run screens, and it was Cam Jurgens, and he's been doing it in the first 2 weeks of preseason. The Eagles are running this play from the Jets' 20-yard line, and Cam Jurgens blocks this linebacker almost to the end zone. The speed to get downfield is obviously a huge part of these blocks, and because he knows he can cover so much ground in just a few seconds, Jurgens moves almost completely horizontally with these first few steps, so that when he gets to the point of contact, his blocking angle is pointed towards the backside, and he can drive the defender away from where the ball carrier is going to be. Here's a different kind of screen block. It's a jailbreak screen. Jurgens sells zone to the left and then explodes in the opposite direction and cuts off the edge defender. And then one more screen, Jurgens bluffs the pass protection, and then watch how wide he gets to start out. Those first few steps are when the linebackers and DBs are still reacting to the play and accelerating, and so Jurgens is super aggressive setting up his blocking angle, and he's really good at rotating his hips as he's getting ready to attach. But then watch how under control he is on this RPO. He's blocking the Mike linebacker who's keying the running back, so there's a brief moment where he can gain some ground without being noticed. So he gets upfield, establishes the angle he wants, and a lot of athletic guards and centers will just continue full speed on this path regardless of what the linebacker does because they're at a speed disadvantage and they can't afford to be patient. So if the linebacker purposely undercuts the block or he's a second late to react, the blocker ends up overshooting and most linemen can't recover quickly enough to reset that angle. But centers like Jason Kelce and Cam Jurgens can afford to be patient, wait for this linebacker to key the play, and then once he decides to accelerate, Jurgens mirrors him and locks on. Here he is on outside zone, covering so much ground so quickly. Keep in mind the center also has to worry about snapping the ball, but he crosses the midline of the nose tackle, rotates his hips 90 degrees in a single jump turn, and drives this dude into the ground. And then Cam Jurgens can also reach block regardless of the defender's alignment. So the Browns are playing an overfront, which sets the 3 technique to the strong side of the formation. Against overfronts, most offenses run wide zone with a deuce block on the 3 tech, which is a guard tackle combo, and the center helps the backside guard with his reach and then climbs to the second level. And if the Eagles were using that blocking assignment against this look, this safety would be unaccounted for and they'd have a tight end blocking a wide 9, which is a disadvantage at the aiming point. That's why a lot of outside zone runs end up as cutbacks. It's not very common for the C gap to be open. And the problem with running outside zone from the shotgun is that the running back has to take a wider starting angle than he does from under center. So it's really difficult for the runner to cut back without losing momentum. So you're basically just forcing a stretch read to the C gap that a lot of times isn't going to be there. But what the Eagles can do with Jurgens and Kelce is have the center reach the 3 tech, and if they can pull it off, this changes from running into a bad look to a huge advantage for the offense. Now the tackle doesn't need to worry about the 3 tech, so he blocks the wide 9, and the tight end gets a much easier block on the safety, which makes everyone on the play side accounted for. This is the advantage of elite athleticism on the offensive line, and it's why Howie Roseman prioritized finding Jason Kelce's replacement. Having one player that can block half a gap over expected gives everyone else on the O-line an easier job, which results in a lot of well-blocked runs. So Jurgens is a perfect fit for the Eagles' outside rushing attack, but Philadelphia has one of the most diverse running games in the NFL, and in the preseason, Jurgens has excelled at every type of run that they call. He's been able to generate a lot of movement on down blocks, and his short area quickness helps him a lot when he's zone blocking away from a slant. He can rotate his hips and recover unlike most centers. I do need to see the play strength show up in the regular season before I feel great about him as a power run blocker, but he's going to have plenty of time to develop that part of his game. Make sure to subscribe if you aren't already. Check us out on all our social media, and let me know in the comments what player or team you want me to break down.